This video is brought to you by Sawyer. Thanks, Sawyer, for being such an amazing fan. Welcome to the 6th episode of Mario Kart Origins. This series will be going over every Mario Kart, which means not just the mainline games, but the arcade games tour and home circuit as well. And in this episode, we're right back on track covering the mainline games, Mario Kart DS. I remember the day I got this game roughly 10 years ago. It was a beautiful Christmas morning, and when I was a kid, I would always wake up super early on Christmas. We're talking 5 o'clock in the morning early. I saw my presents from Santa, but couldn't open them until every one of my siblings were awake. But it turns out good old Santa Claus forgot to wrap one of the gifts because it fell off his sleigh. The gift was in the mailbox outside and was Mario Kart DS. This is a game that is widely considered to be the best Mario Kart objectively. It's not just because of nostalgia, it's always been considered to be the best by many people. Because this was released on a D-Dual S screen, I will be collabing with my good friend T&D Productions, who has even more experience with Mario Kart DS than I do. And this is coming from a guy who has played it for almost a decade. Say hello, T&D!
Hey there everyone, Ty the guy from T&D Productions here, ready to talk about one of my favorite games in the Mario Kart series. Strap in tight, cause we're going in for a wild ride.
With that being said, we are going to answer the question, is Mario Kart DS the best Mario Kart? Time to find out.
Mario Kart DS didn't have much differences in the beta. Bowser's Shell and the Chain Chomp were originally going to be items, but the Bullet Bill replaced the Chain Chomp. Egad was also going to be playable, which would have been really cool, but sadly didn't happen. Finally, the logo used the old school Mario Kart design, and the box art was much more colorful.
Mario Kart DS is on a console that's slightly more powerful than the Nintendo 64, and because of that, the roster is going to be modest in size. But as the old saying goes, quality over quantity. You got the mainstays who have been in every Mario Kart since Mario Kart 64, and then you have Daisy and Waluigi returning from Double Dash. As annoying as Daisy is, she is a mainstay in the Mario series. I'm sure a lot of people would be disappointed if she wasn't in the game. And Waluigi? Not only is he a mainstay, but he's Waluigi. I could turn the rest of this video into a Waluigi tribute, but I already did that. Link in the description. If I had to choose only 10 characters to be in Mario Kart, I'm pretty sure this would be the selection most people would choose. But there are also some newcomers as well. Koopa from Super Mario Kart got snubbed once again. But we do have Dry Bones, and if you ask me, Dry Bones is way cooler than Koopa. So far the roster seems fairly standard, right? You'd be surprised quickly, as Mario Kart DS started the Mario Kart tradition of having at least one, what the heck, character. Out of all the characters I could think of, the absolute last one I would ever think would be in Mario Kart is Marth, and second last would be Rob the Robot. As I said in the last video, I'm usually not too hot on the idea of guest characters, specifically in Mario Kart 8, but here, I think it's really cool. Rob is such an odd addition that I can't help but like. The thing is, Mario Kart DS was going to have a smaller roster than Double Dash, and the main characters people like are here, along with some interesting new characters. The roster is fine here in my opinion, but what do you think, T&D?
The roster for Mario Kart DS is, well, kinda lacking. This is a common issue with the older Mario Kart games, most likely due to hardware limitations, but usually the classic set of Mario characters took priority over game-exclusive ones, or more obscure picks such as the aforementioned Professor Egad. However, as Demeech pointed out, Rob is an unlockable choice here, which is really odd considering the fact that up until that point, Mario Kart was only exclusive to main characters, side characters, and enemies from the franchise. Rob's inclusion probably confused more people that were familiar with vanilla Mario, and with no prior knowledge to Nintendo's larger history. Overall, you got the typical Mario characters, 2 enemies, and a robot who hadn't seen the light of day since the 80s. Not horrible, but at the very least, serviceable.
Mario Kart DS was the first 3D Mario Kart on a handheld. After Super Circuit, I would not expect a Mario Kart to age well on a handheld, but surprisingly, it still plays great. Like Arcade GP, there's no learning curve when it comes to the controls. After playing Mario Kart 8, I still have no problem going back to DS. But where the gameplay really shines in Mario Kart DS is with some of the new mechanics. The bottom screen gives you a detailed map, which tells you what items players have. This adds some more strategy to the game, making those pesky blue shells sometimes avoidable. You're gonna have to decide, do I want to slow down to get back in first place, or will I take my chances with the blue shell? And each character has 3 different carts with different stats. If you want high acceleration, choose Dry Bones and the Banisher, but if you want speed, why not go for Wario and the Brute? You can actually use all carts between every character once that option is unlocked, so in a way, characters can mostly be cosmetic, and that's great. I would never play as Daisy to use a specific card, but I could always use Rob with the card. But when it comes to the gameplay in Mario Kart DS, snaking is always brought up. This is a technique where you rapidly drift to increase your speed. There's no charge time to perform a boost in the game like later games, so it can be a little OP. But Mario Kart is a game that's not just skill based, but also luck based. While snaking could give you an advantage, it's still Mario Kart. I don't think it breaks the game, but I do prefer drifting in later entries. How do you feel about the gameplay, T&D?
I feel about the same with the points you brought up. However, I will say that the game was the first Mario Kart to introduce me to drifting. And while I got the hang of it, the shaking back and forth, looking at it from a critical eye, is a bit unintuitive compared to later titles in the series. Drifting as a core mechanic was still relatively new in Mario Kart at that time, and not as fine-tuned as it was going to be later on. I mean, just look at Mario Kart 64's drifting. But I think once you get the hang of drifting, it isn't bad at all. It's just a bit of a learning curve to get down right. And like you said, Demeech, the mixing and matching of characters with specific carts adds strategy to the way you could play. Certain tracks are more amicable for more drifting, while some require more speed. So giving the player more varied options to strategize how to tackle a course using minimal customization was a welcome and fresh new experience.
The tracks in Mario Kart DS. How could I put this? This game literally has one of the best selection of tracks in Mario Kart history. Many of the best tracks in Mario Kart originate from this game. Luigi's Mansion, Delfino Square, Airship Fortress, Tick-Tock Clock, the awesome Rainbow Road, and the best track in Mario Kart history, Waluigi Pinball. Not only are the themes cool, but each track has a different layout, and even some have different mechanics. Tick-Tock Clock has you driving up gears that can either boost or slow you down, while Waluigi Pinball has a full-on pinball theme, sound effects and all. These are some of the best designed tracks with great themes, and it's the best selection of tracks in the series so far. But where Mario Kart DS really goes even further is with the retro tracks. Super Circuit had the SNES tracks, but here, you're getting 4 tracks from every prior Mario Kart besides Arcade GP. Back then, these retro tracks were super cool. It was awesome seeing these former tracks in Mario Kart, but after seeing what Mario Kart 8 and Tour have done with the retro tracks, giving them fresh new life, they seem a little bit dated here. This is the first game with retro tracks, so it's not a big deal, but if you've never played Mario Kart DS before, you're gonna want to keep that in mind. The selection of retro tracks isn't the greatest either, but I will say that they're a great addition to the 16 new tracks. It gives the game so much more replayability. What are your thoughts on the tracks, T&D?
You hit the nail right on the head. The reason I think people hold this entry, like me, so near and dear to their hearts is because of the iconic tracks. Who could forget the iconic Waluigi Pinball? This game has made that track legendary, even though certain later entries decide to leave it out of their future tracks, Mario Kart 8. While the retro tracks aren't as reimagined as later entries would interpret them, they are still wonderful additions to the 16-track total that makes up this game. Not a ton of tracks compared to the other titles, but some of the best in the franchise to this day.
The presentation of Mario Kart DS is what Mario Kart 64 showed to look like. The DS seems to be slightly more powerful than the Nintendo 64, and the presentation shows that in some ways. The tracks themselves look pretty good, but the character models are very low poly, and this game really shows its age when you see them. Some look worse than others, but in the end, it doesn't matter too much when the game is this good. Music, on the other hand, is very similar to Double Dash's style, and has memorable tracks. Who could forget the legendary Waluigi Pinball theme? While it's not as energetic as Arcade GP, the music here is good. I would say the presentation is what I would expect from a fairly early DS game, and that's not a bad thing. What do you think, T&D?
The graphics are about what you'd expect from a racing game on the DS. The character models aren't super detailed and quite polygonal when compared to the likes of games such as Super Mario 64 DS, but you're seeing the characters from behind anyway, so as long as the general shape and outline of the character is recognizable, that's what really matters. The low-res character models are pretty nostalgic to me anyways. As for the music, come on now! What would the tracks be without their iconic songs? The music is fast-paced, light, and fun to keep the frantic multiplayer action in motion. Definitely a great soundtrack, but one of the best? Well, not quite, but it'll send your heart pumping.
In every other episode, content in Mario Kart usually narrows down to Grand Prix, Time Trials, Versus, and Battle Mode, but Mario Kart DS took the somewhat limited offerings of past Mario Kart games and went all out. For the first time ever, you can play Battle Mode against CPUs. While it's more fun playing with real people, it's nice to even have the option. You also have a new battle mode being Shine Runners, which is coin battle with shines. The battle mode is really fun here, and you can even blow up balloons with a microphone. But as with every Mario Kart, there is multiplayer. You can play up to 8 players with just one game card via DS download, and play any of the modes. Though you will be playing as Shy Guys if you don't have the game, which is really weird since you can't play as him in the main game. multiplayer here is more plausible than Super Circuit because everything's wireless and all you need is a DS and a game card. However, I don't think most people are going to be partying like it's 2009 and having a big multiplayer Mario Kart DS session, and Nintendo knew it wasn't ideal to center the game around multiplayer. That's where Mission Mode comes into play. I love Mission Mode. This is the closest Mario Kart has ever gotten to a Crash Team Racing style story mode, and it's great. You play a variety of missions such as hitting item boxes and going through rings, and there's even bosses. In total, there's about 57 missions, and they're ranked up to 3 stars. So if you want to 100% this game, it can be very challenging, but it adds much needed single player content to Mario Kart and even more replayability. Why no Mario Kart since DS has had a proper mission mode is beyond me. This should have been standard in every following game. But what did carry over into the following games is online multiplayer. This was the first Mario Kart game to have online multiplayer, and unfortunately it no longer works. But I can tell you how it was. It took forever to find someone to play with, but keep in mind this was 2005. It was also free. When it worked though, it worked very well. Mario Kart DS is loaded with content, and you'll never get bored with playing it. What do you think, T&D?
Whenever I played Mario Kart DS, it was with friends with local multiplayer. However, when I played by myself most of the time, I played this game's mission mode, which is still one of my favorite modes from the franchise to this day. The idea of mission mode is heavily derived from the likes of Diddy Kong Racing or even Crash Team Racing's single-player campaign, although minus any form of the hub world. What mission mode is a series of challenges leading up to a seriously cool boss battle at the end of each world. It's honestly my favorite part of the game, and why future installments don't have a refined version of this mode is beyond me. Mission mode is a step in the right direction when it comes to a single-player mode in Mario Kart, but never really reaches its full potential and was most likely not as expanded upon because of the DS's limitations. As for the other modes, they are fantastic to play with friends if you have them around in the typical Mario Kart affair, but man what I would do for a new mission mode in Mario Kart 9, or even better, a story mode.
Mario Kart DS has a solid roster and great gameplay, phenomenal tracks, a solid presentation, and a plethora of content. So what's the verdict? If you told me Mario Kart 64 was your favorite Mario Kart, I'd probably look at you funny. But if you said DS, I would totally get it. While another Mario Kart game is my number 1 favorite, Mario Kart DS doesn't trail far behind in second place. There are the older Mario Kart games I'll consistently go back to. Mario Kart DS is definitely one of them. It's my go-to handheld Mario Kart, and even though Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe exist, I will always go back to DS simply because of how great the tracks are and the mission mode. It's aged very well and remains one of the best games in the entire series. I think it's quite clear how T&D feels, but let's ask him anyway, shall we?
What more can I say about Mario Kart DS? It's the game that got me into the franchise. Even though some aspects of the game don't hold up quite as well, that doesn't mean this game doesn't have its place in the franchise. The mission mode was a great single-player campaign, fun battle modes, an excellent set of tracks, and some kick-ass music for the DS out of all consoles. Mario Kart DS I think is one of the most influential Mario Karts in the whole series. Thanks for having me on as usual, Demeech. This is Ty the Guy from T&D Productions, signing off!
Great having you on here, T&D. Considering how great Mario Kart DS is, it's hard to even imagine how they would top it. The next game in the series is actually not what you're thinking. In 2007, Mario Kart Arcade GP actually got a sequel. A lot of it is the same as the first, so because of that, I wanted to do something a little bit different. Join me in episode 7 of Mario Kart Origins for my one-on-one exclusive interview with the man who worked on the game himself, Bertie. So what do you guys think? Is Mario Kart DS the best Mario Kart? Let me know in the comments, and as always, keep calm and Dada on.
Now watching Demeech.